Welcome back. Part 2 of exercise 2.10M, lever crank. We've created the part. Now it's time to get our center lines and dimensions. So I'm going to move my head out of the way. Now I'm going to need, not layouts, I'm going to need layers. So I'm going to start off with my center line. I'm just going to call it center. Change the color to red. I want continuous lines on this. There we go. Okay, so now that I have that set up, I'm also going to need dimensions. For this, I'm going to use magenta. Magenta, and I want this to be, wait, my dimensions are continuous. My center lines are going to be center lines. Okay, now I'm going to change back to my model view. And I'm going to go to my center. Here, I want to make sure it's set to be the same color and line type as the layer. And now what I want to do, I'm going to do 3 different series of center lines, changing the scale each time so that it matches the circles that I have. Oh, we'll see how this goes. So here, I'm actually, since it's metric, I'm going to just start off by seeing what I've got. Whoa. Okay. No, I'm not. Let's set the line type scale to 0.25. Let's just see how this turns out. Oh, I'm not doing dimensions. Okay. So I set it to a very small scale, and it's way too small. That's no good. Let's set it back to 1. And what I want to do is just erase my line. And I just want to check that the scale looks appropriate. Here, it's way too small. So I'm going to go by my tried and true method. Take the radius of the circle you are trying to provide center lines for, 8, and turn that into the line type scale. Now I get my line tool, and we'll see what we get. Look at that, like clockwork. It's perfect. So now I'm going to finish my scale, my center lines for this. Now, here's the problem though. If I were to continue using the same scale, it's not actually going to look nice on my other lines. So I'm going to adjust the scale to match the radius of my different circles. So here I got 16, and this is going to give me a perfectly centered center line. That's good. And then for the last one, my radius is 12. My radius is 6 because my diameter is 12. I'm going to now set this up so I get my center lines. And good. Okay, now I have center lines. Time to go to dimension mode. So I'm going to set my layer to dimension. If I was doing this on the wrong layer, I can click an existing line, go to properties, and change the layer to a different layer. I want to keep that on the center though. Okay, so I have my dimensions set up. I'm going to go to properties and just check that my dimensions layer. Here we go. Good. Continuous properties, line weight. Okay. Here it's monstrously huge. Before it wasn't giving me an option for dimension style. So right now we've got an architectural 125. We don't want architectural. Let's go to mechanical. And I'm going to start off with mechanical 2.5. Now I'm going to pull up that dimension tool and see what it looks like. Here I'm looking at the number, and the size of the number is actually pretty good. So I'm going to click to specify that radius. And the mechanical style is different from what we've used in class. And in fact, you can see here we've got diameter 16, and there's a flat leader line that leads to the diameter of the circle. Here they drew they wrote the dimension right on the line. That's a mechanical drawing style. I can try standard and see what kind of impact it has. Yeah, so standard is okay, but we can't set the scale as nicely. So I'm just going to stick with mechanical 2.5. That looks pretty nice. And I'm going to use this to recreate the dimensions that are provided. I hover here. I'm going to drop it down though. And very good. And what I like to do first is just get my dimensions on the drawing. Now I didn't use that because it just was not, that's what I'm looking for, diameter. Good. 32. 32. And then we really just have this one left. I guess we have more. And we're going to clean this up. Don't you worry. We'll clean it up. Now I need the height. So I'm going to click here. Click here. I'm going to hover. Drag it over. And now I can bring out the dimension. Okay. Now I seemingly have all the dimensions I need. If you wanted to be a little bit more generous with your dimensions and give the person the dimensions that you did not have, for instance, the width between here and here, you're welcome to do that. Here's where we clean things up. So right off the bat, we're going to take these legs and we are going to bring them out of the object, because the way it was set up is just really, it's not tidy. Good. And I'm going to continue this process for anything that's drawn over the object. If you want it to touch, that's fine. But I'm going to pause so you don't have to watch me do this. After I do one circle, though. So here, let's just see, that's no good. Let's get this so, yeah, it's just touching that. And then here, let's do a circle. That's not what I want. Okay, looks like mechanical drawing standards, it identifies the outside of the circle, not just a point along the circle. So I can't really do anything there, but I can organize these so that they're out of the way of the other dimensions. And then this one I can. Because the radius is trying to specify the center of the circle. We don't really need it to. The assumption is that the center point is going to identify the center there. Yeah, let's see. We'll do this one. Get it off of there. Get it off right there. Great. And so now I'm left with a much cleaner dimensioned drawing. Last step, let's go to paper space. We're going to go in here by double clicking, zoom extents, make sure that it's the correct size. Then I'm going to double click the border and I'm going to add some text, but I want to add text in the default layer, which is going to appear black. Now, when I'm doing this, I want to make sure my text style is appropriate. So I was using 2.5 for the mechanical style. I'm going to use 2.5 for my text style as well. And let's see. That's wrong. Okay, 2.10 M, lever, all caps, lever, crank. And there you go. I'll just designate who drew it. It was you. For right now, we're not using a title block, so you would take a snip of this so that you can see the dimensions and submit it to your assignment.